Hello and welcome to the Birth Climax. I'm your host, Brittany. You guys, if you're watching this video, that means I did my job at getting it out there into the algorithm, and I'm excited for you guys to take this journey with me at successfully having your birth climax. So the mission of the Birth Climax is just helping women navigate their way into having the birth that they want, pretty much. And I know that for the most part, most women want to have a successful vaginal delivery. And I feel like as a woman that has been through that journey, that we're getting further and further away from women naturally giving birth vaginally because of all of the potential negative things that could happen while vaginally giving birth, which I'm totally aware of. And I want to tap into the reasons of why those things happen, why we end up medically intervening inside of the birthing community, and how we can potentially navigate away from the negative and into the positive in a more natural way of giving birth. And I'm excited to tap into and touch on the subject of it because it's needed so much. By the way, I am currently a mother of 6. I have had 2 C-sections and 4 natural deliveries, 3 of them being at home and 1 vaginal delivery, which was my last baby at the hospital, and I was successful at it, and how I was able to accomplish going to the hospital after being a mom of 2 C-sections, which they heavily, focused on. They didn't really take into consideration that I had already had 3 successful vaginal births at home. They were highly fixated on the fact that I had 2 C-sections and were really terrified of me having a uterine rupture, which I had been counseled on because of my previous experiences. I have been to a birthing counselor, and he let me know the ins and outs and the risk of pretty much of having a vaginal delivery after having a cesarean. After his counseling, I pretty much signed a piece of paper saying that I was aware of all the risks associated with it. He signed it, and then my midwives also signed that same pretty much letter stating that each party involved in this is aware of the risk of having a vaginal birth after a cesarean, and that all parties agree on the risk and are also going to continue forward, although there are risks. So on this channel, I am going to talk and hit key points of the counseling. I plan to have people come in and talk with you all that are certified in these areas, that have doctoral degrees inside of OBGYNs, and also midwives and doulas, and people that don't get acknowledged inside of the birthing community, like prenatal chiropractors and prenatal chiropractors. I'm sorry, you guys, excuse me. Another thing that never gets talked about, and that is herbs inside of birthing. And another thing that doesn't get talked about, and that is, give me one second, it's coming to me. It's something they practice in Chinese medicine, and it is, what's the little thing that you do with the needles? You guys know what I'm talking about. It's where you have needles, little small tiny needles, put inside of your skin to unblock blood pathways that might be blocked. And it's gonna come to me what that is. Well, you guys work with me, comment down below what it is. I'm sure I don't know why it left my brain, but these are all things that I did to successfully be on the other side of having a C-section. And hopefully we can help the world get away from C-section, because my first C-section, it didn't have to happen, you guys. I was 9.5 centimeters dilated. I just had a cervical lip that was not quite ready, which, to be honest with you guys, I always have it. It has never not, gone away. which is crazy. Like, but I never learned that about myself until I successfully had a vaginal delivery. So anyways, I'm not going to get too personal inside of my stuff. This is about you guys. This is about me helping you guys. This is about the birthing community coming together as a whole and just finally both, you know, provider and, you know, mother to be, or mother in general, you know, coming together and being more understanding of their, you know, prospective roles. And I can't wait to watch this take off and just be such a great resource for everybody, because I see both sides. I understand the doctor that's totally concerned about baby and mother and making sure that they are okay, because there is death inside of the birthing community, and death, it can be so tragic emotionally, physically. Like, it hurts. It's like a deep wound that you never get rid of. And yeah, I also want, I'm sorry you guys, I've never experienced loss, but I can only imagine how it feels. So just excuse me on that. And this is just me thinking about that doctor, you know, that really just doesn't want those problems. I understand the doctors that are overworked and the providers that are overworked, and it's, you know, it becomes overwhelming and you're emotionally burnt out. You love what you do, but it just has become so overwhelming. And that's why I created the channel, and I didn't get a chance to really put myself out there, because I know what it feels like to be burnt out. I know what it feels like to passionately want to be involved in something, and you lose that passion because you're overworked and you're overwhelmed, and you don't get time to spend with your family, with the people that you love the most. And the reason why you might have even pursued your career, like you might originally pursued it for yourself, and now you're pursuing it because you want to keep your family happy. And I understand from so many perspectives. And then I also understand the women like me that went through the rushed delivery, that might have, you know, should have waited, and, you know, you might have took that person's anxiety into consideration. They were anxious to meet their baby. And I just love how I got to experience my midwives in a different way. They have become burnt out, and I understand them, and I feel bad for them, because my midwives were so passionate about helping me, and I just loved them for that. They have no idea how that changed my life, how them saying, I'll give you a shot at a trial of labor, and I will let you do this, and we will go through all the ins and outs of making sure it happens, and we're gonna see you at the finish line, because we're gonna be right there. And I love that. And I think if we all just kind of like really take into consideration both, you know, sides, that we can really come together. And I hope that I can be someone successful at bridging that for everybody, because overall that's what I want. I want both providers and mothers to please understand from both sides that we all want the same thing. And for those of you that are in the middle, that are burnt out, that it's okay to take a break away from these situations, and just, you know, really ground yourselves back into all of your reasons why you chose the career path that you did. Because we do appreciate you for doing that, for dedicating so much of your time to you know, like a lot of your life to getting the degree, and then having to do, you know, all the steps necessary to even make that degree what it is, and then diving into it afterwards, and just the whole journey. I'm sure it's like, whoa, you know. And then when you get into it, you know, you might meet some negative people along the way, and that's all a part of life. Inside of every positive, there's a negative, and inside of every negative, there's a positive. And I want to touch on everything. I don't want to pick sides or anything like that. So I don't want to get too, you know, too emotional and keep, you know, fixating on that. But I just want both sides to see both perspectives in us like come to a common ground on the birth climax. And that's why it is the birth climax, because we're going to be allowing everyone to get to the destination that they want to get to, and that's healthy mom and healthy baby that are alive, well, and really in touch with each other, and then help mothers outside of birth too. That fourth phase of becoming a mother that sometimes we struggle with, and don't even know that possibly what we experienced prior to giving birth to the child might have affected the way we were caring for the child in that moment, in that space, helping mothers get more help with the things that they're struggling with. And I feel like we just get sent on our merry way, and we're so lost and so confused at what to do and how to handle, and then we mess up, and you're held accountable for when you mess up, and it hurts really bad. So thank you so much for you guys for watching this video. I can't wait to come back and see you guys again and just touch on some amazing topics inside of the birthing community, so that we can bring some positive into the birthing community, so that we can continue birthing generations and generations of people that look at birthing for exactly what it is. All right, you guys, you have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.